Yeah, Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Wahara Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who will and teach well, to the Akims and the Iwas and Bibles and those pushing this word in true sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, it's just a little exhortation. You know, Lord willing, it is edifying and it keeps your spirit up. But a brother contacted me and he's going through some things, and the way it's affecting him, you know, it's very dire. But we have to bear in mind that we can't really look at our situation and compare it with another person's and think that they're not going through what I'm going through, so their trial ain't as hard as yours. Everyone's trial is as hard as it is to the individual. So just because someone may not be going through the same thing that you're going through, it doesn't mean that it's not affecting them in the said manner or even worse. But ultimately what we have to do is stay focused. You know, the devil, when you think about Job, he brought all kind of things upon Job, and the scripture tells that Job kept his integrity. And these are all part of our trials, and everyone's trial is different. So what we have to do is make sure that we keep enduring. You know, don't make anything make you fall out. You know, and it can be easier said than done, especially when you're not going through something that someone else might be going through. You know, tell them to keep your chin up and keep keeping on. But that's what we have to do. You know, keep keeping on no matter what. Because at the end of the day, we have to try and think of the end goal, which is forgiveness of sins, everlasting life. And ultimately, you know, if we're honest with ourselves, we don't deserve the life that we have. You know, really and truly, the Most High will be well within his right to call his spirit home. You know, I know the scripture speaks about our light affliction, and going through it at the time, it may not seem light, but I would say, like, imagine we make it to the kingdom and X amount of trillion of years down the line, you're looking back and it's really going to seem light and trivial, you know. And that's what we have to try and focus on. Try and be a bit more long-sighted than short-sighted, you know. Short-sightedness is us dwelling upon the here and the now, which I'm not saying we mustn't take these things into consideration, but if it's coming to the point where you think, you know, the Most High, he's got it out for me, he don't like me, you know, you want to drop out, try and be a bit more long-sighted, man, and think of the goal at the end of the day. There's nothing that we've gone through that we can't look through the scriptures and be comforted by those, you know. Well, I'm not the only one. And I always like to think about the you know, 4 parents that I look up to is the seven brothers and their mother. So like 7 brothers and their mother. You know, I think about the first one, the horrible way he died, and then when the second one came, he didn't shy. You know, he was giving it all the lip, for want of a better word. And this is the kind of spirit we want to pray that the Lord puts on us. You know, these trials that we go through, the various refining processes, and you could be going through something to help someone else, or it could be a case. I like to look at Job 1:8, where the Lord said to Satan, you know, Yahweh said to Satan, have you seen my servant Job? You know, a perfect and upright man, and one that hates evil. And it could be the case where what you're going through, I would say read that verse and put your name where it says Job. You know, have you seen my servant such and such, a perfect and upright man, stroke woman, one that fears the Lord and hates evil. You know, like, if we're gonna disown the Lord through the trials that we go through, you know, that's showing that we never really trusted in him. You know, our faith isn't where it should be, and all of these trials are actual faith builders. Now, like I said, it's easier, you know, said than done if you're not going through certain trials that a next person is going through. But, you know, we are our brother's keepers. So if you know someone that's going through something, just try and be there for them, you know, give them some encouragement, yeah, give them some encouragement, man. You know, help your fellow brother and sister in whatever way you can. You know, but yeah, really, you know, the crux of the matter is don't give up faith and hope in the Lord. Lamentations 3:26, another one of my favorites. It says, it's good that a man should both hope and quietly wait on the salvation of the Lord. And then you got Jeremiah 29:11, where it speaks about, I know the thoughts that I have for you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And when you look up that word expected, it's like you're like a bit run down at the moment. When you look up that word expected, it goes into hope, you know. So we do have hope. You know, we do have hope, man. Like, this is not it. You know, let's not fall out. You know, just keep on that path regardless of how dire things may seem. Because there's only two ways to die, in the truth or out the truth. And the last thing we want is to die out the truth. The end goal ain't going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So just keep your head strong. Keep on keeping on. And the Ararattas are well off that number, man. Yeah, Shalom.